Shalom Yasharala. Shalom Yasharala. This your brother Dawada coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua, Bahashim, Rakah Kodash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders, great millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, I can pushing this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So I want to jump to this here article real quick, which is something that I just, happened to mention in a prior video. All right, about when I was speaking of it, I was speaking of you Western countries. All right, mainly here in America. All right, with all these different uproars of the peoples and things like that that's going on around the globe. All right, you have a lot of these different people here in America with their so-called unrest of how certain things are going, as far as like with the community. Right. You know what I mean by the community, what they're teaching your kids and everything else like that. And, you have people that are in uproars over, smaller things. You still have things going on between, the Trump and the Biden faction and everything else like that, because of who's your favorite player in office. All right. But when things, things that are really affecting you around the globe are taking place, the majority of you Americans seem to not even take note or even understand that these things is what's really popping off with these things. And so I wanted to jump into this here article because this was exactly what I said. That, if these Americans really were paying attention, if they really understood what was going on, all right, they would see, that, the scripture say about his own counsel shall bring him down. All right. But they would see that they're being led to the slaughter. All right. So this says mass anti-government protests hits Prague. It says protesters demand the government's resignation over soaring energy prices, inflation, and military support of Ukraine. All right. And, I remember going into that, touching on this in a prior video about the things that's going on in the Ukraine, about how, this conflict that's going on that, America is pretty much using Ukraine as a proxy for Russia. All right. And again, just like how we learned in and really in any life, in any war in anybody's lifetime here in America, but I can speak for myself as far as being alive throughout the Middle East conflict. All right, I always used to say, if the administration would have just been straight up with the American people, the American people 9 times out of 10 just would have been with it. Like, you know what, we're going over to the Middle East to go steal their damn oil, and that's just what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? And we were like, all right, well, cool. At least y'all was being honest about it. Go ahead, do what you do. Or if the American population would have benefited from it, like, wait, we're gonna go over there and steal their oil. Gas is gonna be like 35 cents a gallon. The American population would have overwhelmingly probably voted for that shit. But you know what? They didn't. All right. They didn't tell us those things like that. And on the flip side, after going over there and plundering, especially in all these other nations, it's not the everyday Americans that benefit from these things. In fact, we're the ones that pay. We're the ones that pay the cost for these wars. All right. Our tax dollars are financing these things. But on the flip side, they call it an ROI, a return on investment. We're investing, our taxpayer dollars into these things. But what do we get on the return? All right. What are we getting as American citizens, as far as, the return of the investment on, going to war into these other places and things like that. Right now with Ukraine, America sending all this here money to aid and finance a war in Ukraine and everything else like that. What is the American population getting in return for that? All right. And then, there's another aspect of this with these Western nations. All right. America's allies, they have to answer the same question, not just the governments, but also the populations. And in this article, you'll see what the populations are starting to do. But as far as the government, why are we, which is going to lead into the beast hating hordes, as the prophecies say. But why should we keep following you into this here, this abyss, and we don't get any benefits out of these things? If we come out victorious, you come out with the spoils of war, and we don't. All right. We just have to pay the price for these things. All right. But, as I was speaking on to these things, it's like, with all these things going on, the backlash, not the backlash, but the blowback of all these things. All right. Like here it says, protesters demand the government's resignation over soaring energy prices, inflation, and military support for Ukraine. So this is what they have going on over there. But how much more, we've all heard the excuses for why gas prices is going up. That thing with Ukraine and Russia, right? Russia is the reason gas prices is going up. The food cost is going up because Russia, because the gas prices is going up. It got to cost more for the food to come in, and we importing food. Well, how come this and the rent and everything else? Well, Russia. So everything that and I'm using their terms, everything that there's a problem with over here in America, all right, they like to blame on Russia. Russia is the problem. But then at the inside, again, like I was speaking on, if you actually understood and knew what was going on with these things, of how America's, with their maiden coup, overthrew the government in Ukraine, all right, and then set up their puppet, all right, like the scriptures say, He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. All right, he's inside all these different nations. As hell and death cannot be satisfied, but gathers unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. All right, he's gathering up all these resources again, not for the American population's benefit, but for their own benefit. All right, they want to start selling gas to the European nations and have their first of all, they had the petrodollar, so they was making money off of the export of the gas from Russia to Europe. But now they like, what, we want to just run our own pipeline through Ukraine. You know what I'm saying? And make money off of Ukraine, the gas from Ukraine and everything else like that into to Europe, and so we can benefit off of these things. But America's going to be the one benefit because who are they going to be selling it to? To their European allies. It's not like Europe's going to be benefiting from these things. All right, they was getting a sweet deal already, but hey, now it's time for Europe to band together with America to basically screw over the EU, all right, in the energy sector. But how much more the rest of the little smaller things that happen with these things, man? All right. So it says tens of thousands of protesters gathered in central Prague on Saturday for a march dubbed Czech Republic First, urging the government to resign over soaring energy prices, inflation, and to drop anti-Russian sanctions. All right. At least these people have some type of they're coming to some type of sense. In the very beginning of this whole Ukraine scenario, you had everybody talking about some support Ukraine, because again, the narrative and the propaganda and everything about how Russia just decided to wake up one day and just, how they say, oh, the man comes home, he's just angry, he beats his wife and kicks the cat for no reason because he has internal problems. This is what they're saying that, Russia basically did to Ukraine. They just woke up one day with a ill intent against them and just started, waging war on them, just invaded them just because. So now the world has to stand together against this tyrannical monster. But hey, that's not so. All right, these people are starting to wake up to these things, and it's like, well, even if they didn't wake up to what the how do I say, the start, or what started all the triggering point of all these things, even if they didn't wake up to those things, they're realizing like, bro, how much longer can we keep doing this, and how is this really benefiting us? Like, yeah, you could say, let's just say hypothetically, Ukraine is so-called winning this here war over here. We're losing over here by aiding these people because, like, now look at our energy. We're getting bankrupt over here trying to pay for just basic things over here, man. All right, we're not even in the war, but hey, we can't even afford basic things over here, and the only excuse to all these things is what you're saying is what, Russia. All right, so hey, it says according to police estimates, some 70,000 took part in the rally, with organizers putting the figure at 100,000. The event brought together people from across the political spectrum, with the Communist Party and the right-wing Freedom and Direct Democratic Party taking part. And so, like I said, man, here in America, all right, you got people that's over here arguing over who's their favorite superhero in office. All right, and if this did that and they did this, this is illegal and this is fraudulent. Y'all arguing over some bullshit when right now both Democrats and what they call it, and Republicans paying the same goddamn price at the gas pumps, paying the same amount of money for groceries, paying and losing your houses, and y'all all losing everything equally. So you over here fighting over political parties and everything else that's going on, while you the one over here losing. But this is the illusion of the game. All right, I'll call it the WWF effect. No matter if you on a Stone Cold side or the Rock side or Vince McMahon side, hey, Vince McMahon at the end of the day is winning all the way around because you buying the ratings, or you watching the show, right? Getting him ratings, which the sponsors are getting money off of it. So he don't give a damn which side of the fence you team Stone Cold, you team The Rock. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter which team you pick, as long as you watching. That's all that really matters. But see, this is the same thing you have going on here, man. All right, you people that from whatever side of the aisle you fit on, whatever your ideologies are, and this and that, you over here arguing about if your proper pronouns and everything else like that. Hey man, that gas station price don't give a damn what your pronoun is gonna be called, man. All right, that them food prices don't give a damn about none of these things. But see, while you over here arguing about those things, you have your government that's over here, and not only they can't bail you out, they bailing out a whole nother country over there in a lose-lose situation for them. All right. It says the aim of our demonstration is to demand change, mainly in solving the issue of energy prices, especially gas and especially electricity and gas, which will destroy our economy this autumn. One of the event co-organized Social Democrat Jury Havel told local media. And see, at least these people are able to look a little bit of ahead of time. And you Americans ain't even you can't even see what the hell going on right now, let alone see what's going on ahead of time with these different things, man. All right, here's a little bit of this here protest. And I was saying in the the prior videos, like, you know what, while you all Americans is over here all mad about this and mad about that, how come y'all ain't at y'all damn White House, regardless of who the president is, regardless of what party's in power? Like, look, bro, we not with this no more, bro. We not trying to, look, bro, we not trying to arm Ukraine no more. We not even trying to be in a conflict. We need to worry about what's going on here before we can worry about what's going on around the globe. Now, granted, prophecy has to take place, but just as far as to show you where you damn Americans' mindsets are, and it'd be stupid to hell to see these people with these damn Ukrainian flags talking about some support Ukraine. You supporting your own demise, and at least these people are starting to realize these things. So it's not like somebody's sentiment, or you just a brainwashed by the Russophobia or whatever. Like, look, bro, like I said, man, they don't give a damn if you pro-Russian, anti-Russian, if you pro-Trump, pro-Biden, whatever the fuck you believe in. You paying the same price as everybody else at the damn gas station and the grocery store prices and everything else, all because of this here conflict, all because of, you turn a blind eye to what your politicians are doing. All right. It says the protesters demand that the Czech Republic take a neutral military stance and secure direct contracts with natural gas suppliers, including Russia. They also condemned the government for supporting EU sanctions against Moscow, adopted in multiple waves since the start of the Russian-Ukraine conflict. So they're like, look, bro, we don't want no parts of this damn war. We just want to keep our trade going so we can keep eating out here, man. We don't give a damn what y'all. Look, this problem ain't between us, first of all. Second of all, we don't want to cut off our supply line because y'all got beef and we got to take a side in the beef, bro. Like, bro, we ain't got nothing to do with that, bro. That's on y'all, right? It says the protest came a day after the government survived a no confidence vote over the same issue, with the opposition accusing it of enacting inaction in the face of soaring energy prices and inflation. All right, so like, like I said, man, you got these stupid ass Americans still out here talking about some. Hey, man, and I keep calling you stupid ass Americans because any of you Americans that's over here talking about anything with supporting Ukraine and anything else like that, it ain't got nothing to do with Russia. But when you say support Ukraine, what you're saying is you're supporting basically your gas prices going up, grocery prices going up, because this is the how you say the blowback or the consequences of all these different things over there, man. All right, this is what this is what you pretty much voting for, man. All right, this is what you over here. Oh, we got to support this. We got to support that. There's people over there starving over there. You about to have people over here starving, and your ass is gonna be on the list. All right, you talking about somehow gas prices going up? I can't believe that. And you know what I'm saying? And I used to see those little stickers on the damn gas pump. It was the Joe Biden sticker that the gas was going up. People was the sticker would say, "I did that." Hey, man, and nowadays, I mean, we got to stop putting all this here blame on Joe Biden and Donald Trump and any of these politicians, man, because none of them really run shit anyway, man. All right, and in fact, really, you have your handlers, people that's put in place in office, and you people don't really have no vote. But hey, right now in reality, it's really your fault, man, as the regular people, the regular population, because you can change this. Not, obviously we have prophecy, but as far as speaking of how these things go like this, man, like, yo, man, that would kind of screw up the whole plans if all you Americans just woke up, which we know you're not gonna wake up and be out in the streets like, look, bro, we don't want to part of none of this shit no more. We just want to get rid of all of this shit and go back to being right on a course. But we know that you people are all wicked. You all just blinded and everything else like that. But like I said, here's a prime example of going in the face of the so-called establishment. It's like, look, bro, like, hey, bro, we not buying into this shit no more. We can't even afford groceries out here. What the hell we trying to support a whole nother country for? At least they waking up to these things. But like I said, when you see these Americans over here talking about some support this and support that, and we got to do this and do that for Ukraine, I'm like, bro, you what? And then you the same people that talking about some, I can't believe gas is so high right now. Can't believe food is so high right now. But this is what you have going on. But it's only going to be a short amount of time, all right, to when you're going to start seeing this around, it's going to start spreading in Europe first, all right, come this winter, man. A lot of these European nations, you're going to see what these citizens is going to start uprising, all right? You're going to start seeing all these different people. Matter of fact, I'm pretty much done with this here article. I think that was the point that I wanted to grab in here. Just get into some scriptures real quick, because what you're going to start seeing is a lot of these people, all right, especially over there in the EU when it comes to winter, and they really have to because Ukraine, there's articles about them trying to just go strictly off of their their natural gas reserves and everything else like that, but they don't really have enough to really supply them, and the conversion, try to make all that stuff happen would be how you say, not to say super costly, but it'll be like you know what I'm saying, like to give you an example, the hell I'm gonna go over here and buy a damn Lamborghini for if I can't afford to fill up my Honda Civic? You know, if I can't put gas in the Honda Civic, what the hell I need to get a Lamborghini for? First of all, I can't afford a Lamborghini. Second of all, I ain't gonna be able to afford to put the gas in the Lamborghini. You know what I'm saying? That car take up way more gas than a damn Honda Civic or something like that. You know, so it's not very profitable for you to be trying to get into this scenario. All right, but let me jump down. This is Luke 21 and 9. It says, "But when you should hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by." All right. It says, well, hey, just going in there, because all these things, World War III is not going to you're not going to just wake up and just be like, oh, we in the middle of World War III, this side and that side, this side and that side. As you're starting to see these different nations, you're going to start seeing, how they say, like the domino effect, man. All right. Well, a lot of these things started with the Ukraine scenario, and everybody's talking about some, getting on board with, you know, supporting Ukraine and everything else like that, putting the sanctions on Ukraine, and everybody jumped on board to the smoke started clearing. And they started realizing what this is actually, the effect that it's actually having on the people that's putting the sanctions on Russia, and not on Russia really, man. Like, well, Russia's still doing good, but then, the Western nations who put the sanctions on Russia, they're over here not looking so well right now, man. All right, especially with the energy crisis and things like that. Now you have the population starting to revolt against these decisions and things like that. Now you about to have civil war and civil unrest in your own countries, all because of, you're trying to follow after this the leadership of Babylon the Great, which is going to bring in terms to what, the prophecy of the beast hating the whore, all right, and burning her flesh with fire. All right, see, this is how all these prophecies are starting to line themselves up to take place, man. All right, bringing you into what, World War III. So like I said, it's not like you're gonna just wake up one day, but hey, you got to go through these steps, step by step by step by step, man. First, you had to have all these people on board to getting these sanctions and going with the Ukrainian thing and everything else like that. Now you getting to the point where, this is like the people are waking up to realize that these things are actually hurting and harming them. All right, to the point to where now they're gonna start you know, putting that pressure onto their leaders, to where it's like, look, man, we about to have civil unrest. We don't need these people trying to overthrow us and come and taking us up out of our so-called, political buildings and things like that, stripping us of our power and trying to take us to the gallows and everything. We got to do something. We got to act. Hey, man, the hell with America, man. We got to turn up, how you say, uproars on our own and our own borders, man. If we don't do something, we're gonna lose our own country. What the hell, we're gonna go over here try to help y'all fight for? Hey, man, hey, our people, like I said, man, the people now, beforehand, you say the people don't really have no choice in none of this stuff when it comes to voting and stuff. Hey, but when you got all these thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of people outside your whether it be your presidential palace or whatever like that, trying to rip you up out of that bad boy, all right, and just riding in the streets and everything else like that, it's kind of hard to like bring out your military on them folks in front of the whole world and justify, like, well, why the hell did y'all bring y'all military out to quell this mass protest of all your citizens over here? Oh, because they didn't, they couldn't afford nothing, and then they were starving, and what I'm saying, they didn't support this here war no more. Well, why didn't y'all turn away from the war? Well, because we was just following America, and that's what we had to do. So now all of our people, we had to genocide our people. That's not gonna go out like that, man. All right, these people are gonna start how do I say, uproars and things like that, which is gonna pressure these people, all right, to fulfill biblical prophecy, man. All right, devising schemes and plans on how to turn into their own allies, man. All right, it says nation shall rise, and then said he unto them, nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, famines, pestilence, and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heaven. All right. And you're starting to see these things with the, the different plagues, pestilence, and famines and things like that going on. And a lot of these famines are coming from what? Wars, man. All right. A lot of these different, let me see, where is that at? Yeah. Second Ezra 16 and 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days. The beginning of sorrows and great mourning, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? So, hey, going into these things, he says, the beginning of sorrows and great mourning. All right, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and when you go into these wars, since these wars and these conflicts started taking off over there in the Ukraine and everything else like that, you're starting to see a global downturn of economic trade and movement and things like that. Ultimately, we know prophecy is being fulfilled as far as Revelation 13 and 16 taking place. No man being able to buy or sell save he that have that mark, or what was that, Revelation um, what was it, 3 and 9 or 2 and 9, that goes into that great temptation that's coming upon the whole earth. All right, which again, you're not going to be able to buy or sell safe if you have that mark. So you have this global collapse that's coming. All right, being followed up by what? Or global economic collapse that's coming, followed up by what? The introduction of that MOTB. All right, but at the same time, you're starting to see these uproars of these different people. All right, because of what? These different wars and everything else like that. This is go back to Luke chapter 21, verse 25. It says, "And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars and upon the earth, distress of nations with perplexity, the seas and the waves roaring." All right. And so this is what you have going on right now. Let me keep reading. It says, "And men's heart fell in them for fear and for looking of those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken." All right. And so this is what you have going on right now. Distress upon nations with perplexity, man. These nations is like, look, do we you got NATO, our NATO partners and our Western allies and everything. Do we go along with them, or we not necessarily? Let's just say, for instance, we're not so friendly with Russia, but we need Russia. We need the resources from Russia. All right, you know what I'm saying? It's just like so it's like that syndrome you get at a job where it's like maybe you got you and your homie, and they always talking about how much they hate the job, they hate the job, they hate the job, and they want to quit, and then start getting inside of you, your mindset, and you start thinking the same things and everything else like that. It's like, hey man, you might hate that job, and you might want to walk, and your homie might want to leave and go quit and everything else like that. Man, I'm about to quit the job, and they just leave. And you might be thinking like, man, I might as well quit with them. But then at the end of the day, you get to your senses. It's like, wait a minute, this job was paying my bills. Even though I might hate this job was paying my bills. But this here person over here is talking me into leaving this here job. They ain't got no job right now. You know what I'm saying? They about to lose everything that they got. They over here asking me if they can have a place to stay on my couch, if they can use up my food and everything else like that. So why the hell would I want to sit here and quit my job, all right, to follow after you when I don't get no benefits from any of these things? It's only going to harm me. So I might as well just stick it out in this here relationship that I'm not so happy with, but at least it's a fair deal. You know what I'm saying? At least this is a job is paying all my bills and I'm not really wanting for anything. But hey, so these nations are having to make this here decision. It's like, look, well, if we stay America's allies and everything else like that, we out here shut out of economic trade and things like that. That's just putting us in a bad economic state to where we're going to just wind up going bankrupt. Our society is going to collapse and everything else like that. America's not going to come to our aid. Let's just say America does defeat Russia in this whole scenario. You think America going to share the spoils of war with us? No, hell no, man. They didn't share the spoils of war in the whole Middle East when they went over there. So what make you think they're gonna share the spoils of war when it comes to Russia, man? And all they're doing is really just cutting ties and making it harder and harder for them to economically advance. And now they on the move with China. All right. So now look, you about to mess up all of our relationships, man. All right. Not only are you about to have me go quit my job over here, but you about to have me do something on the back of my resume to where no job is gonna, every time they do a background check and like, nah, bro, bro, let's quit the job. But before we do, let's go ahead and rob the joint and everything else like that. Well, not only I'm out of a job now, every time they do a background check on me, I can't go get another job because it's on record that I didn't let you swindle me into going robbing a damn job and things like that. So, hey, man, this is what you have going on, man. These nations are in distress with perplexity, man. All right, they don't know what the hell to do, what decisions to make. But we know, according to scripture, according to prophecy, that what these nations are going to wind up turning on America, man. All right, they're going to wind up siding with Russia and these things, man. All right, the Lord has put it in the mind. He's working on the minds of these kings to fulfill what? His will. All right, and what is part of His will, or what is His will? Is to destroy Babylon, man. All these nations are going to come together to take Babylon up out of there, man. All right. Matter of fact, let me grab that real quick because I just mentioned that like a couple times, but real quick, and then we'll get back to the topic at hand. This is Revelation 17 and 16. It says, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire." All right, so this is talking about America's allies and the so-called ones that's following after the whore. All right, taking direction from her. All right, Babylon the Great. All right, this is Obadiah 1 and I think it's 1 and 7. Yep, it says, "All the men of thy confederacy have bought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee, and they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee, and there's no understanding in him." All right, so they devising a scheme or a scam or devising a plan to double cross you in this here thing, man. Because please believe these world leaders that's having these uprisings in their nations over these different things, that they're considering what's going on. Like, look, we got a choice to make. Do we appease Babylon the Great, which we don't really get no benefits from, or do we appease our population? All right, we don't really have to appease the population, but the other choice to that is just coming down on them with a swift hammer. All right, and you know what happens when that happens. You look at any past civilization, whenever you see these things happen. Yeah, a lot of governments was able to kill off a lot of their populations, but it didn't last very long. That government that tried that, they didn't last too long. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, well, we can get a couple of them, but we're not going to just smash them all into subjection like that. But hey, these people are out there and about out in the streets, and they're like, look, we'll either not go to work, we'll not do this, the whole thing will just collapse. So like, you can be a government, but what are you really governing if your whole society has collapsed? All right, there's no point then at that at that spot. So what these people have in the back of their mind, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Well, we just read what they're gonna wind up doing. They're gonna wind up turning on America, man, turning on these Western allies that they have, man. All right, let me get back to the second Esdras. I wanted to read this as well too in second Esdras 15. All right, because what you're seeing right now is the uproars of these here people, man. All right. Second Ezra 15 and 14, it says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword in their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. All right. And again, I've been mentioning this every time we read this and we see these uproars, these different people and everything else like that, from this to the January 6th scenario and all these different things. No matter how violent you think that these clashes are, and they're all very peaceful, man. All right. When you start seeing these people come out to the streets with their guns, all right, and they ain't asking and they ain't look, when they put the signs down and pick them guns up, it's gonna be a whole different story, man. They gonna be like, we not asking no more. We just taking this shit, man. We taking y'all up out of here. We ain't with this. You just had a couple different world leaders basically be deposed. Well, you had one. The people was mad because he decided he was resigning, and they didn't want him to resign. He had another one, you know what I'm saying, that where it was like, they got fed up with the corruption, and they was like, bump that, bro. You gotta go. Hey, we not waiting for you to put in your resignation papers. Hey, we gonna uproot your ass ourselves. All right, and this is what you have, when things get real bad. But like I said, right now, what you mainly are seeing around all the around all these different protests and uprisings and everything else like that, and the scale to peaceful or violent. All right, they're all peaceful, man. But once they come out to the streets in the masses with guns and weapons and things like that, just start smashing through certain things, you know what I'm saying, and just laying people down in the street, then you're gonna know, hey, it's look, the people are fed up with it right now, man. All right, again, you can go back and look at the January 6th scenario. The only person I believe that was shot out there was the police shooting somebody. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like the crowd was like armed, and everything else like that. Yeah, things looked a little violent and everything else like that. But like I said, when them people and they was basically going out there to, get their little point across and be heard and everything. Hey man, what we're reading about is not people wanting to be heard. All right, they're gonna be like, look, they want to be understood at this point in time. So it says, for the sword in their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. Not signs, but swords in their hands. All right. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So as you can see, when it comes time to and like I was making mention of these different protests, hey man, people just wanting to be heard about, oh, I want my pronouns to be heard. I want my vote to be counted, and I want all this. I just want to be heard in all these scenarios. But when it comes time to people's like, look, bro, y'all done taking away all my financial resources. All right, I can't afford heat. I can't afford food. I can't afford this. I can't afford that no more. And then these people are not going to go out there with no signs trying to be heard no more. They're going to go out there with their guns, like, you taking everything away from me, and now I want revenge. All right, so hey, this is when you're going to have these people that's not going to be wanting to hear what they politicians and wanting to vote for another party and do this and do that. And, nah, man, they're going to just be going out there and they're going to be ready to take it by force. All right, because you've taken everything away from them. It's like backing even the most docile animal into a corner, man. Even the most docile animal, once you back him into a corner, he soon will strike out. All right, it says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They should not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, and houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. All right, and just like I said, you got a lot of different political things coming up with these different elections and things like that, and different people in power. Man, hey, just believe that America's going to go back into another one of those upheavals again when it comes to the political type of stuff that's going on and everything. No matter who wins or whatever the outcomes is going to be, somebody's going to be unsatisfied with these things. Like I said, you Americans is over here protesting and rioting over some bullshit that don't mean nothing to nothing, man. All right, because at the end of the day, who give a damn if you the cash register at the grocery store and the gas station don't give a damn if you voted for a Republican or a Democrat. They don't give a they charging you the same amount. You know what I'm saying? It's not like the dude in front of you is a Republican, his price is cheaper than yours. Behind him is a Democrat. All right, or if you want to be how they say referred to as this pronoun or that pronoun. The damn gas pump don't give a damn what your pronoun is, what color your hair is, what the hell you got going on, and y'all all paying for these things. So once these people realize that, they've all been sold down, down a drain with these things, that's when they're gonna start putting these signs down and picking up these damn weapons, man. Hey, and America's got more guns in America than they got people. All right, it says verse 18, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled and houses shall be destroyed and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of a lack of bread and for great tribulation. And see, these uproars and these upriots and these what we were looking at over in Prague and everything is over what? Soaring inflation prices, man. All right, we keep seeing how the UK or the EU, all of them is over there facing high inflation, cost of living and everything else like that. Hell, even over here in America, man. But they really, really getting hit over there because, a lot of their trade is coming from over there. But hey, man, just think about that, man. America got the petrodollar to prop them up. All right, but that's even dwindling. But when you look at these other nations, man, hey, once things get real tough, man, all right, right now they're being drained of their whole life savings and everything else like that, having a downsize, man. All right, now at the end all be all, man, these people are going to want to picking up arms because they ain't going to have anything else left, man. All right, so hey, this is what you're seeing going on. That these people are going to wind up going out door to door, kicking in doors, looking for food. All right, going back for that so-called revenge on people. Hey, man, my neighbor always playing that loud-ass music, man. I'm about to go over there and off this nigga and go take his food and everything else like that. Or, this guy fired me from my job, this and that, and made it so I couldn't eat and feed my family no more. I got to go knock this nigga off and everything else like that. So, hey, man, these things is coming to pass, man. But please believe that you're going to start seeing more and more of these different nations, all right, before they start going door to door. This is step one, the fact that they over here peacefully protesting against their governments and things like that. All right, hey, it gets a little bit further than that when they start how you say dethroning these people up out of their positions of power, man. And then it goes even further than that when these people start going from door to door, house to house, and start overthrowing their neighbors and things like that, man. Because all for what? A lack of bread, man. But these are the days that we're coming upon, man. All right, great tribulation is coming upon the earth, that hadn't been seen since the beginning of time, even to the same day. All right, because you have this as a global scenario, man. All right, let me close out with that. And 2 Ezra 9:1, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I told thee before, we read some of those, the wars and rumors of wars, then thou shalt understand that it is the very same time when the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. All right. And again, that's not just a protest here and there in this city or that state. Nah, globally. All right. And mainly all over the same things, man. All right. It says, then thou shalt well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like all that is made in the world hath a beginning and the end, and the end is manifest. All right. And that's what you see in the end here is being made manifest. Even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works and endings and effects and signs. All right. And so, hey, going back up to, these uproars of the people in the world. All right. These people are all rising up all over mainly the same things, economic woes, corruptions in their governments and things like that, man. All right. And this is a global phenomenon that's taking place right now because what people are being squeezed to the T, man. Oppression is at a very high level, but hey, things are only going to get worse and worse and worse from here, man. All right. Bringing that perfect powder peg, powder keg to erupt, man. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and close out with that. Lord, when the elect was edified with this here lesson. Until next time, I say, call halal, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rakakudash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, a great millstone, and taught us his truth and every will. And salutation and much love for you, I can pushing his truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Until next time, I say, stay strong. Shalom.